Genesis. Chapter 26. Now there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. So Isaac went to Abimelech king of the Philistines, in Gerar. The Lord appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt, live in the land I will tell you about. Stay in this land, and I will be with you and will bless you. For to you and your descendants I will give all these lands and will confirm the oath I swore to your father Abraham. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and will give them all these lands, and through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed me and kept my charge, my commands, my decrees and my laws." So Isaac stayed in Gerar. The men of that place asked him about his wife, and he said, "She is my sister," because he was afraid to say, "She is my wife," he thought, lest the men of this place kill me on account of Rebekah, for she is beautiful. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech king of the Philistines looked out at a window, and saw Isaac playing with Rebekah his wife. Then Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Behold, she is indeed your wife. How then did you say, 'She is my sister'?" And Isaac said to him, "Because I thought, lest I die on account of her." And Abimelech said, "What is this that you have done to us? One of the people might easily have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." And Abimelech commanded all the people, saying, "Whoever touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." Isaac sowed seed in that land and reaped 100-fold in the same year, because the Lord blessed him. The man became rich, and his wealth continued to grow until he became very wealthy. He had flocks and herds and many servants, so that the Philistines envied him. All the wells that his father's servants had dug in the days of his father Abraham, the Philistines had stopped up and filled with earth. Abimelech also said to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you have become much more powerful than we are." So Isaac departed from there and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. Isaac reopened the wells that had been dug in the days of his father Abraham, which the Philistines had stopped up after Abraham's death, and he gave them the same names his father had given them. Isaac's servants dug in that valley and found there a well of living water. But the shepherds of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's shepherds, saying, "The water is ours." So he named the well Ezek, because they contended with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that one also, so he named it Sitnah. He moved on from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it, so he named it Rehoboth, saying, "For now the Lord has made room for us, and we will be fruitful in the land." Then he went up from there to Beersheba. The Lord appeared to him that same night and said, "I am the God of Abraham your father, do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will bless you and make your descendants numerous for the sake of my servant Abraham." So he built an altar there and called on the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And Isaac's servants dug a well there. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar, with Ahuzzath his friend, and Phicol, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, since you hate me and have driven me away from you?" And they said, "We have seen that the Lord is with you, therefore we said, Let there now be an oath between us and you, and let us make a covenant with you. That you will do us no harm, as we have not touched you, and as we have done only good to you, and have let you go in peace. Now you are the blessed of the Lord." Then he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. And they rose early in the morning and swore an oath to one another. Then Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass on that same day, that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had dug, and said unto him, "We have found water." So he called it Sheba, therefore the name of that city is Beersheba unto this day. Now Esau, being 40 years old, took to wife Judith the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Basemath the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And these were a grief of mind unto Isaac and Rebekah. Chapter 27. And it came to pass, when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, that he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, "My son." And he said unto him, "Here am I." And he said, "Behold now, I am old, and know not the day of my death. Now therefore take thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out into the field, and hunt me some game. And make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it unto me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake unto his son Esau. And Esau went out into the field to hunt game, which he was to bring. Then Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I have heard your father speaking to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me some game, and make me a savory dish, that I may eat, and bless you before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice in what I command you. Go now to the flock, and bring me 2 choice young goats, and I will make them into a savory dish for your father, such as he loves. And you shall bring it to your father, that he may eat it, and that he may bless you before his death. Then Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, thus I shall bring a curse upon myself, and not a blessing. And his mother said to him, My son, let your curse be on me, only obey my voice, and go, get them to me. So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory food, such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, which she had with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the skins of the goats. And she gave the savory food and the bread that she had prepared into the hand of Jacob her son. And he went to his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, who are you, my son? And Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn, I have done as you told me. Now arise, sit and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me. Then Isaac said to his son, How is it that you found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord your God brought it to me. Then Isaac said to Jacob, Come near now, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob came near to Isaac his father, who felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like the hands of Esau his brother, and he blessed him. And he said, Are you really my son Esau? And he said, I am. Then he said, Bring it near to me, that I may eat of my son's game, so that my soul may bless you. And he brought it near to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And Isaac his father said to him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. So he came near and kissed him. Then he smelled the smell of his garments and blessed him, and said, Surely the smell of my son is like the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. Now may God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and new wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely left the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also made savory food and brought it to his father. And he said to his father, Rise up, my father, and eat of your son's game, that your soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said to him, Who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly, and said, Who then is he who hunted game and brought it to me? I ate of it all before you came, and I blessed him, and he shall be blessed. Esau, hearing the words of his father, cried out with a loud and very bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me also, my father. But he said, Your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing. Then he said, Is not his name rightly called Jacob, for he has deceived me these 2 times? He took away my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing. And he asked, Have you not reserved any blessing for me? Then Isaac answered Esau, See, I have made him your master, and I have given all his brothers to him as servants, I have sustained him with grain and new wine. What then shall I do for you, my son? Esau said to his father, Do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Then Isaac his father answered and said to him, Behold, your dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And by your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. It shall come to pass, but when you become powerful, then you will shake his yoke from your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are approaching, then I will kill my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her older son, were reported to Rebekah, and she sent for Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, Behold, Esau your brother is comforting himself concerning you, intending to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee to Laban my brother in Haran. And stay with him a few days, until your brother's fury subsides. Until your brother's anger turns away from you, and he forgets what you did to him, then I will send and bring you back from there. Why should I be bereaved of both of you in one day? Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of hate. If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of hate, like these, from the daughters of this land, what good will my life be to me? Chapter 28. Then Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him, saying, Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Paddan Aram, to the house of Bethuel your mother's father, and take a wife from there, from the daughters of Laban your mother's brother. May God Almighty bless you and make you fruitful and increase your numbers, so that you may become a multitude of peoples. May God give you the blessing of Abraham, to you and your descendants with you, so that you may inherit the land of your sojournings, which God gave to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Paddan Aram, to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. Now Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Paddan Aram to take a wife from there, and that as he blessed him he had commanded him, You shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob had obeyed his father and mother and had gone to Paddan Aram. And Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan displeased his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, and sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife in addition to the wives he already had. So Jacob left Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he came to a certain place and spent the night there, because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones of that place, he put it under his head and lay down in that place. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and its top reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and to your descendants. Your descendants shall be like the dust of the earth, and you shall spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south, and in you and in your offspring all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. When Jacob awoke from his sleep, he said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. He was afraid and said, How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, this is the gate of heaven. Early the next morning Jacob took the stone he had put under his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. He called that place Bethel, though the city was called Luz at the first. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, If God will be with me and will watch over me on this journey I am taking and will give me food to eat and clothes to wear, so that I return safely to my father's house, then the Lord will be my God. And this stone that I have set up as a pillar will be God's house, and of all that you give me I will give you a tenth. Chapter 29. Then Jacob set out on his journey and went to the land of the people of the east. He looked, and behold, a well in the field, and behold, 3 flocks of sheep were lying beside it, for they watered the flocks out of that well. There was a large stone over the mouth of the well. And they gathered all the flocks there, and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well, and watered the sheep, and they put the stone back over the mouth of the well in its place. And Jacob said to them, My brothers, where are you from? And they said, We are from Haran. And he said to them, Do you know Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. He said to them, Is he well? And they said, "He is well, and behold, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep." And he said, "Behold, it is still broad daylight, it is not time to gather the livestock, give the sheep water, and go and pasture them." And they said, "We cannot, until all the flocks are gathered together, and they roll away the stone from the well's mouth, that we may give the sheep water." While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled away the stone from the well's mouth, and gave water to the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. Then she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him into his house, and he told Laban all these things. Then Laban said unto him, "Surely thou art my bone and my flesh." And he stayed with him a whole month. Then Laban said unto Jacob, "Because thou art my brother, should thou serve me for nothing? Tell me what thy wages shall be." Now Laban had 2 daughters, the name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah had weak eyes, but Rachel was beautiful in form and appearance. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, "I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter." Then Laban said, "It is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man, stay with me." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and these days seemed to him but a few, because of the great love he had for her. And Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go into her." So Laban gathered together all the men of that place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to Jacob, and he went in to her. And Laban gave his maid Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a maidservant. And it came to pass in the morning, that he saw that it was Leah, and he said to Laban, "Why have you done this to me? Did I not serve you for Rachel? Why then have you deceived me?" And Laban said, "It is not so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Complete this one's week, then we will give you the other also, for the service which you shall serve me another 7 years." And Jacob did so, and completed Leah's week, and he gave him his daughter Rachel as a wife. And Laban gave his servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a maidservant. And he also went in to Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served with him another 7 years. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bore a son, and called his name Reuben, for she said, "Because the Lord has looked upon my affliction, surely now my husband will love me." And she conceived again and bore a son, saying, "Because the Lord has heard that I am unloved, he has given me this son also." And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bore a son, saying, "Now this time my husband will be joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons." Therefore she called his name Levi. And she conceived again and bore a son, saying, "This time I will praise the Lord." Therefore she called his name Judah, and she stopped bearing children. Chapter 30. When Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, she became jealous of her sister. She said to Jacob, "Give me children, or I'll die." Then Jacob's anger burned against Rachel, and he said, "Am I in the place of God, who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb?" She said, "Here is my servant Bilhah, go into her, so that she may bear children on my knees, and I too may have children through her." So she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife, and Jacob went into her. Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, "God has judged me, he has listened to my voice and given me a son." Therefore he named him Dan. Bilhah, Rachel's servant, conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said, "With great wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed," and she named him Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had stopped bearing children, she took her maidservant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maidservant, bore Jacob a son. Then Leah said, "How fortunate!" And she named him Gad. Afterward, Zilpah, Leah's maidservant, bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, "How fortunate I am! For the daughters will call me blessed." And she named him Asher. Now Reuben went out in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field. And he brought them to Leah his mother. Then Rachel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." But she said to her, "Is it a small matter that you have taken my husband? Will you also take my son's mandrakes?" Then Rachel said, "Therefore he will lie with you tonight for your son's mandrakes." So Jacob came in from the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, "You must come in to me tonight, for I have surely hired you with my son's mandrakes." And he lay with her that night. And God listened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob a fifth son. Then Leah said, "God has given me my reward, because I have given my maidservant to my husband." So she named him Issachar. And Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. And Leah said, "God has given me a good gift, now my husband will dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons." So she named him Zebulun. Afterward she had a daughter and named her Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel, and God heard her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bore a son, and said, "God has taken away my reproach." And she called his name Joseph, saying, "May the Lord add to me another son." And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said to Laban, "Let me go, that I may go to my own place and to my own land. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served you, and I will go, for you know the service that I have done for you." Then Laban said to him, "If now I have found favor in your sight, stay with me. I have learned by experience that the Lord has blessed me because of you." And he said, "Name your wages, and I will pay them to you." Then he said to him, "You know how I have served you, and how your livestock has fared with me. For the little that you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you because of my work. Now, therefore, when shall I also provide for my own household?" And he said, "What shall I give you?" Then Jacob said, "You shall give me nothing. If you do this thing for me, I will again tend and keep your flock. I will pass through all your flock today, and I will remove from it every speckled and spotted lamb, and every dark-colored lamb, and every spotted and speckled goat, and these shall be my wages. Thus my righteousness shall testify for me tomorrow, when you come and my wages are before you, every goat that is not speckled and spotted and dark-colored lamb shall be considered stolen from me." Then Laban said, "If only it were according to your word." And he removed that same day the striped and spotted male goats, and all the speckled and spotted female goats, all that had white on them, and all the dark-colored lambs, and he gave them into the hands of his sons. And he put 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob tended the rest of Laban's flocks. Then Jacob took fresh rods of poplar, hazel, and chestnut, and peeled white stripes in them, exposing the whiteness that was in the rods. And he placed these rods, which he had peeled, in front of the flocks, in the troughs and in the watering places, where the flocks came to drink, so that they would conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and the sheep gave birth to striped, speckled, and spotted lambs. Then Jacob separated the lambs, and set the faces of the flock toward the striped ones, and all the dark-colored ones among Laban's flock, and he put his own flock apart, and did not put them with Laban's flock. And it came to pass, whenever the stronger sheep conceived, that Jacob put the rods in the troughs before the eyes of the flock, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the flock was weak, he did not put them there. So the weak ones were Laban's, and the strong ones Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had many flocks, and maidservants, and servants, and camels, and asses.